Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm Steve Patterson. Welcome to the channel. We're doing another show for the Gen X Transplant Bros playlist today. This time of year always gets me to thinking when you smell the turkey, you've got all the football going on TV. It's getting cold outside. It's looking like, fall and everything. We got the leaves changing and the Christmas catalog. That thought came across my mind this morning. I remember as a kid, this is about the time of year. Let's go back to the early 70s now, and it's Christmas time, and there's the catalog, and it's this book that you get to open up and circle all the opportunities for the future. It's like this little portal into the future. Troy, before we leap into this, we've got a lot we're going to look at today here. Before we get through this, we have several sections we're going to look at. We even have a video at the end. If you stick around to the end, it even involves Iron Maiden and Christmas and Sears all in one. Troy, what do you remember about the whole notion of the Christmas catalog, the holiday wish list from Sears or JCPenney or Montgomery Ward's back in the day?
I remember getting those and looking forward to that because you could circle what you want, and the more you wanted it, the darker the circle, or the more times you circled it. And then I remember I was so excited because grandparents would go to the mall, to the individual Sears, Pennies, or Montgomery Ward to get the catalog, and just seeing and it was always in the layaway department, somewhere in the back.
Right. They go pick it up.
They piled up, stacked from the ceiling to the floor to the ceiling. And who knows how many layers, a couple layers, but there'd be hundreds of them. I just couldn't wait to get home and look through it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that was just a special time. I mean, you talk about circling them like that. And I remember doing things like, having like putting our initials, like S, T, next to it in there, or like having to fold over the pages so they know where to look for in the book, or numbering them on a scale of 1 to 10. Not that we did that, but like you're saying, the scale of 1 to 10 would be the amount of loops of the pin,
right?
Not
or
10.
stars around the circles.
Exactly. Exclamation points. Please, please, Mom. I'll do extra chores. All right. Well, with that out of the way, and I've got a lot of screens here, folks. Like I said, I'm going to try to get kind of fancier than normal. We're going to share. I woke up this morning and just thought of this and decided to do a deep dive into archive.org, which has all kinds of documents. In fact, it's funny. It's got my very first days and my very first websites all the way back in 1976 still in there that I can still look at. But I want to share this with everybody right now. Let's see. It should pop up. And it has. Okay, so it's over here. It's over. Everybody sees it. Troy, you see this, right?
I do.
First off, on the left here, we have the Christmas catalog from the year that you and I were born. Now, we obviously that year I certainly didn't. I was a little over a month old. I just turned 59. You turned 59 last February. So neither of us would have actually shopped in this one, so to speak, but we might have gotten something out of it. For the next year, we may have as well. So that's what it looked like the year we were born. And I thought that was really cool.
Kind of looks like it might have been a Norman Rockwell painting.
Exactly. It just looks so Americana. I mean, it just drips America. And so over here on this side, I don't know if y'all can see my mouse or not, but they have this is the spring through summer of 73. Now, this is not a Christmas catalog, but in it, I found a page that I want to talk about as far as Christmas catalogs, because, as we talk a lot about here, my brother and I both became musicians, guitar players. We played in bands together, Phoenix, Arizona, all over the place. I played a few other places. Look at this. Well, hold on. Before we get there, I have this one for 1970. I just want to show everybody the cost difference on some stuff. Look at this. You get this top for $5. It says shirt, top. White shirt, $5, hers $5. So the jeans are $5. So you get either this whole outfit for $10. And when I showed this to Troy earlier today, he goes, "I want one."
I want all that.
Exactly, man. I think they look pretty cool. I'd wear this. I sport this today. I mean, why not? Right? Heck, put on tennis shoes on this guy, and he would look like a businessman today. That's the only difference. But look at this. Look at this. Remember this in the old Christmas catalog? Exactly.
Yes.
This is actually that spring and summer one I was talking about. And we do have a Christmas version of this coming up, I think, from 75 in a second. But look at this guitar right here. You have number 11. Now, I remember, Troy, you telling me a story once about finding a guitar in a catalog. How'd that go? You were talking about
I found one that looked like something that Jimmy Page played. I don't know what year it would have been. But I thought that when I saw pictures of Jimmy Page in Cream magazine playing that guitar and then seeing it in Sears Catalog, I thought, well, Sears must sell really good stuff if Jimmy Page plays it.
Great. That's awesome. And in that we have another video in the series. We have a thing called the music series, a playlist. You can check it out on the main channel, where we talk about our musical gear that we had. And look at these amps. I mean, I was trying to remember, we talked about the Frankenstein amps of the late 70s I was making. These things, I would have rocked this stuff. That's actually put together, but that's kind of the way that it ended up looking, the way that I built it. But that is hilarious, these amps. So this guitar here, number 11, is a double pickup, 2-tone, 2-volume channel, 3-way selector. The one next to it, let's see, it is a 1-tone, 1-volume. Actually, why does it say one? Oh, okay, yeah, 1-tone, 1-volume.
The
Yeah, so
Telecaster.
this one's split. This one does have the split. See, you have the lead, and then you just don't have the middle pickup. I'm so used to having 3 pickups. I've had 3 pickups on everything forever, including my Strat now. But anyway, so check this out: $229 for a drum set. How you like that? Not bad, huh? Imagine how that little hi-hat sounds.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can imagine what Greg, our brother Greg, who's a drummer, who we will have on eventually. He's kind of excluded right now because he's a little kidding, Greg. But we just haven't he doesn't have a transplant. So anyway, but down here, look at this, Troy. They even have a sound pedal, like a volume pedal. Pretty cool. And microphones and little selector switch. All right, moving on. We have in 1975. Now we got now the price of the drum set is dropped to $199. Look at this. But you don't have, let's see, let's go back up a second. Let's see. So this one it was a 3-piece, then 2 cymbals, hi-hat, snare. Too far. Hold on. Forward. Okay. This one only has 1 cymbal. So yeah, okay, for a less, so for like $30-$40 less, you get a whatever. Oh yeah, right there it says cut $40. You know what they cut? The extra cymbal.
I'll bet that's on the request of the parents.
Yeah, look at this though. Look at that. So there it is. Wait, 2 cymbals? Yeah, it is. So there he goes. $229, cut $40. Actually, that's a lie, folks. It's cut $10. Well, anyway, the cymbal and the dollars are gone. So here we have more guitars. We have another SG looking guitar there in the middle, $95. How did price change? The other one was $79. Okay, so it went up by 10 on that one. Sorry about my skills with my PowerPoint. I tossed this stuff together. I did screenshots earlier. From archive.org.
2 years, it went up $20. Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, and look at this little, I try. Oh, so this is the one, see this amp down here, the new at Sears portable amplifier. I was intrigued by that, but due to the graininess of the screen here, I was unable to read it. So I zoomed it up on ChatGPT and it came out to this new at Sears portable amplifier. Batteries included, plays anywhere. Built-in fuzz tone. There's our distortions. Yes, before they called it distortion, everybody still has Jimi Hendrix in their head. And so key on off switch, only you can turn on or off. Only you. Nobody else can. Like, wow. Anyway, headphone jack. Cool. Jacks for external power and input. External power. Now, I wonder what they mean by that. They mean a power cord and an input jack. So in other words, you can plug it into the wall and you can plug a guitar into it. Volume and tone control, big 8-inch speaker. Wow, big speaker. Sounds like the Aerosmith song. White vinyl cover, hardwood cabinet, 11 1/4 by 10 1/4, 10 3/4 by 6 1/8 inch deep. 57. Let's see. C. What's up with the C? Anyway, I was looking for the wattage. Did it say wattage? It didn't. Anyway, they have a microphone stand. They have an connector cord. That's the rest of that image that I zoomed in on. And looking at this next image, do you remember this?
I do.
I need to just point out right now, I can tell you at least 3 of these that I did have. And there's another one that I'd like to mention that was along these lines. But I was all about the Lone Ranger and Tonto. I even watched the TV show. WSN,
I remember you had
45.
those.
Yes, I was all about it. And General Custer and Geronimo as well when they came out later.
Yeah.
But I even had the little chuck wagon thing back there. And I also
think I had that as well.
I think we all had those kind of things because this was earlier. I think the Geronimo and Custer ones came out later because they also look a little bit more advanced than these. But yeah, and we were playing with those.
It's not a Planet of the Apes thing, is it? That mountain?
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Okay.
But so we had the Chuck wagon, and then down below, I had the Carson City thing. I remember having that.
Yep.
And then actually there's 4 that I can definitely say. Well, 3. Ford Apache. That thing, do you remember that?
Yes, I do. I think
But there was also
all 3 of
additives.
us. Huh?
Wasn't there like add-ons? Do we have like extra parts of it? Because we had that, and I remember, or maybe we had like 2 or 3 of them.
I think all 3 of us had one, so we made like a conglomerate huge fort out of the 3.
Exactly. I remember playing Cowboys and Indians all the time. And of course, this would also be, we'll get to it in a second, out in the yard in other ways. But yeah, so I mean, Cowboys and Indians is a big thing, playing guns, which we'll get to in a second. But then also, there's a Planet of the Apes one here. I don't know if I had that one, but I do know that I had the Guns of Navarone.
Yes, I was just gonna say that. That looks like that might have been the same mold. They just the Guns of
Exactly.
Navarone was gray and that one's tan.
Right. It had the little cannons, and even on the, like the top can, it had some like special stuff. You could never get it really to work right. But you know, it had all this stuff going on behind it. You look at it in the front, and then you have all your soldiers, you know, your US soldiers you could have coming up, or British, whatever. I guess, well, they're US, but anyway, yeah, those toys were awesome. Those were so much. I mean, the messaging just, I mean, come on. Not so much in 2025. Can you imagine this in 2023? I mean, gee whiz, you talk about these things favorably then, and this YouTube would be deleted. But maybe not. But you know what I mean. It's just the fact that we had these when we were kids. We didn't think anything negative of it, although people might today. But I mean, here we're literally talking about, you know, a lot of negative images of U.S. history as they were seen for a while, but I don't see them necessarily. I think it's all in the way you look at anything. And these were fun toys. They taught us a lot. Look, we have Galen and Vera right here. Remember how happy and fun and what they taught us. I mean, this is some good stuff, folks. We benefited a lot. Those of us that were able to be born early in the Gen X enough to be able to experience this. But look at this.
Yeah, I had
flying off the track forever.
Oh yeah, they had the one push button thing so you couldn't control the speed.
Or you had that thing. It had like it was like a little gun that had like a trigger that you had resistance to it. It wasn't like you pulled it and it clicked. And so the more you pulled, the faster it went. But it was like nothing.
Yeah, then off it went.
But yeah, look at these. And then you get this one here. Look at that. Remember when we got to these things? We did have these. We probably had this exact same thing.
Yeah, when you had enough of the different sets, you could make up your own racetrack, and it made your mind think. When other kids would come over to race cars with you, you could set up the track to where your car was like on the inside. You could figure out what side of the track your car would always win if you didn't go off the track.
Right. I don't even remember exactly. Here they are. Here's the race cars. Here you pop the plastic off and you had access to the actual stuff inside. And I remember there was a certain amount of customization. We were able to do something with them to either override them or something. What did we do?
Well, you could buy tires separate and have bigger tires or smaller tires. And the bodies themselves were interchangeable so you could have a 57 Chevy or a 69 Camaro. They were all interchangeable. It was really cool.
So the chassis remained the same. You just replaced the body on top.
Exactly.
Wow. I don't remember that detail, but I do remember because you're 10 months older, so you remember more.
I think the first one I saw was when Mom and Dad first got married. You had one, and I thought, this is cool.
That little pin on the front of it, zing, they zing off that little. Because for those that don't know, the way these things are, this is an electric track, and so but it has it's basically it's the car, but it runs on electricity, so the wheels do run. The motor in it is charged by a little pin that comes down the front. It's right in the middle of the track. That's metal. It's connected to these wires you see here, and so there's a little thing that pulls like this, and so as you do it, more energy goes in. It forces the motor, and the car goes forward. And so I remember the tires. There was tires you could put on it to where you could go around corners faster. That's what it was. Because whenever we go like past this stuff up here, you go whizzing, flying off the track. Particularly if you didn't have these these things put on, these guardrails put on
Yeah, they
correctly.
had yellow guardrails you could put on the curves.
Right. So and there you can see what I'm talking about, the little thing there. But anyway, that stuff was awesome. But those were great. And those I loved. And the things before, I was really into the cowboys and into the military stuff. G.I. Joe, we haven't talked about. We'll have a whole nother video on just G.I. Joe, I think. But this is Troyland next. We go into.
Whoa.
Do you remember
Yes.
these days, Troy?
Man, do I ever. I love the model trains.
We have HO and Lionel there. There's no N scale, but there's your HO.
Yeah. HO and N. Wow. Or Lionel. Yeah, Lionel.
Yeah. The N scale with even smaller. Remember? You know this. You're the train expert.
I still play with the dang things.
Yeah. You have a train set. Go ahead. First off, react to this.
Yeah. No, the power pack right there in the middle. I think I still have one in my garage somewhere. It doesn't work, but I still have it.
You still the same one?
No, it's probably something I got from some junky thing. But yeah, it's the same exact one. But yeah, I think I still have that thing in the garage.
These tracks, anyway, I remember doing real fast, folks. Troy has been building very elaborate model train sets since since we were little kids. And today it's insane. I mean, big operations. We'll get to it. We'll have a separate video just on what you're doing today, Troy. But back in the day, I remember you were just all about this stuff, every little.
Yeah.
And I see here, I think, your favorite part of the whole thing. Do you see my mouse on the screen?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell what that is. Bridges and signs?
No, but they actually look kind of like big, tall plants.
Oh, trees. Yeah.
Don't you isn't that your favorite part of trains?
Yeah, they had like apple trees. They had little red dots in the tree somehow.
Weren't you saying something about making train set trees or something, or some issue with train set trees?
I make train set trees right now. They drive you nuts. It's fun to do. It's very time consuming. But
there they are. That was your challenge.
Yeah. Now I can just go buy some.
Right. And, when we were growing up in Neoga, Illinois, right at the crosshairs of two railroads, and one of them being the Illinois Central, where the city of New Orleans did drive up and down, roll up and down. We used to watch the trains go by all the time when we were kids. Sometimes you'd throw rocks at them, but we won't talk about that. Anyway, we would then, I remember, Troy, we'd go to the train stores or these things at Christmas time and see the exact boxcars and engines and trains that we see going by. I mean, it was amazing. You can make like an entire train out of just all the named ones that you literally did see going by. And so that was very exciting times for young train people. And obviously it hooked you on it. And look at this over here, this crazy intersections. And these are your big Lionel trains. Like people have been to the Field Museum in Chicago. That's the Lionel size. That's the big ones you see up in the upper corner. The HO's the smaller ones where your engine is about maybe this big and boxcars are about this big. And then the N scale, they get little bitty. And
tiny little thing.
Imagine making train set trees for N scale. So
that's insanity.
And here we go. This is some more. This is just HO right here. See, there you go. Chassis system, Santa Fe, American Flyer.
I think I had the chassis and the Santa Fe.
You did. I remember them. I don't remember these other two. Well, maybe. Oh, yeah. Union Pacific. Probably had Union Pacific. Yeah.
I think that we had that one in our room, that bottom right, with that little styrofoam thing. I think we had that in our room in Neoga.
Yep. That's crazy. $67. Seems like a lot of money for 1973.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. It must have been at the time it must be when they first met.
It was. We're right across.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were across the street from the directly across the street from Neoga High School in those days, right? Then this era is a little bit about the same time, but this is prior to us a little. But look at these things. Remember when these things were a big deal? This is the epitome of the driving around town after dark, or driving around town in the mid 70s, early 70s.
Yeah, you had to have the bicycle that looked like a dirt bike motorcycle.
Right, exactly. None of that Schwinn crap. You had that, or a 10 speed? What are you talking about, 10 speed?
Mine's a motorcycle.
Right, 10 speeds, first off, I can't get on the thing. It's got way too much going on. And what's this with the brakes? I mean, why are we bent over and holding a ram's head? I
Right.
want a motorcycle like Evel Knievel.
How come I can't stay on the seat?
Exactly. Why can't I bend this muffler or this fender in the back over the top, the mud flap over the top, so it sounds like a motorcycle until it eventually burns out and goes back up with a big divot in it for where it burned out. Remember doing that?
Yep.
Yep. So, and then there was this. How about getting
Yeah.
BB guns for Christmas? I got a Daisy. These aren't daisies here, but I remember I got my first Daisy was through them. And of course, tetherball. That was croquet. Look at this. Horseshoes. All of these were big. I mean, in fact, everything on this list. Let's go down it. Tetherball. I didn't really experience that much until later in the 80s or even 90s.
Yeah.
But certainly croquet and horseshoes as a kid. Definitely. And volleyball.
Is that badminton?
Excuse me, badminton. Excuse me, I saw the ball. Yeah, well, there's a volleyball and badminton, both of them there. But actually, badminton we would have seen. Volleyball would have been something in sports in school. As far as the dart set, that for us would have been bows and arrows.
Where are the lawn darts?
The lawn darts aren't there, but what I want to point out though, see this multi-purpose 4-square kickball? That's not what that's for. That's a dodgeball.
Yeah.
That's why it says multi-purpose. Well, of course, then they wouldn't. If it was, a little bit smaller, it'd be a proper dodgeball, and they would have called it a dodgeball.
That's kind of how you settled spats with your friends.
Oh, well, I remember
dodgeball.
We used to do it for PE in school. Well, when I moved to Chicago, you'd line up, pick teams, go boom, bam, hitting people.
And laughing.
Talking late 7. Exactly. I mean, some of these kids get just bonked. So
that hurt.
Ha ha. So imagine that. What do you want imagine the 12-year-old today saying, what do you want for Christmas? BB gun. That does happen in the world, and perhaps your son does that. Congratulations, Dad, and congratulations, son, for having a dad that allowed that mindset to exist. That's inherently not a bad thing. I mean, I get it about guns these days, but come on. It was not an issue when we were there with these things. Doesn't seem to be that the BB guns are the source of the issue. And then, as time went on, we got smarter. Remember getting microscopes?
That and the chemistry set, though you could actually blow
right
stuff
there.
up.
See, there's one right there at the bottom. A chemistry
there it
set.
is.
Exactly. And then you have the telescope, so you can see like the moon a little better. Not much, but a little better.
Yeah.
And so moving on, as we get into we're now later in this whole process. Look what we start to see now for sale. This is in 1984. Look how much this thing is, $69. In 1984, you can buy you can probably go to Walmart and get a microwave for $75 today.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have a model. But $269. Wow. Look at this cut 3. This one's cut 150, $339. And that's it. So what'd you think of that, Troy? That was that's a lot of stroll down memory lane. Any thoughts about the whole catalog? Any other parting thoughts on that catalog? We're going to move on to some other things we have to look at.
No. That brought back some great memories, really.
Like what? Share one. Can't get out of here that easy.
You remember shooting at each other? We would play like Civil War battles, and all the kids in the neighborhood, we'd get our BB guns and fire at each other.
Yeah.
But the rule was you don't fire at somebody's face.
Right.
But somebody not always, but somebody eventually would get hit in the face. But,
don't recall anybody. I remember people getting hit in the head, but not face proper. Most of the time, it was legs and butt.
Yeah,
because somebody be trying to run, and then you'd see him, and you'd just shoot, and so people basically aim mid body, and boom, And I remember a couple of times, actually seeing the BB fly, and at the last second, and see the jean pocket. Now, we have a number of other things here I want to share. Go ahead, Troy.
The cap guns.
From the paper
where they had
ones?
the red strips that had a little bit of whatever.
Right.
Dynamite? I don't know what it was, man.
Yeah, you could put those in the pistols and it would go forever. But then they came out with the pistols. Remember the pistols with the circle? It was like a revolver and it had the plastic ones.
You could just load it in.
Right, which really was not faster because the caps went on forever.
Yeah, you'd run out caps.
But you could reload like they do in the movies.
Yeah.
I'm
Put
out.
the whole
I'm out of
thing in
ammo.
there.
I got right.
Remember that?
Exactly.
What about the air gun? Remember that thing? It was looked like a shotgun. You could stick it in the
Right.
dirt, put it up, shoot it, and dust would go flying out of it. So it looked like you're firing a real gun.
And we'll talk about bows and arrows and shooting Greg in the head another time.
Yeah,
But
that was
let's see,
bad.
what else do we have here? Okay, so this next thing I want to share is a news story that started all of this. This morning, I just woke up and I decided to look into this. And I Googled whatever happened to the Sears Catalog, which is the title of this video now. And I found this story from 2023, which is from Smithsonian Magazine. And it tells a pretty interesting story about the catalog itself. So I want to run through that a little bit, folks, with you right now. Okay, listen to this. So it says the title of it here is Before Folding 30 Years Ago, early 90s, the Sears Catalog sold some surprising products. The retail giant's mail order business reigned supreme for more than a century, offering everything from quack cures to ready-to-build homes. Sounds like Facebook. Okay, ready? From heroin to houses, Sears has it all. But before the Chicago business became America's largest retailer, affixed its name to the world's largest building, Sears started by selling time. In 1886, a 22-year-old station agent in Minneapolis and St. Paul Railway purchased a shipment of unwadded gold watches from a local jeweler. Watches that had hit the market, and since station agents needed to track the train schedule, the young man thought he might hawk the watches to his fellow railway workers. Excuse me, I'll learn how to speak someday. The plan worked. Richard W. Sears turned a handsome profit, then moved to Minneapolis to establish the R.W. Sears Watch Company. The following year, Sears moved to Chicago and partnered with Alva C. Brock, the self-taught Hammond, Indiana watchmaker, and found him through the Chicago Daily News ad. Roebuck soon asked Sears to buy him out, and not before lending his name to the marquee, Sears, Roebuck and Company. And so then became Sears. And so then as they go, then a couple years later, in 1888, they issued their first catalog saying the lowest prices on earth. And so then it became this big book. Sound familiar later on in another way. And it became the Amazon of the Victorian era and beyond. So it was 1,000 pages, more than 100,000 items, tools, hardware, apparel, appliance, furniture, sporting goods, auto supplies, farm equipment, entertainment centers, after opening its first brick and mortar store in 1925. Wow. So in 2025, it got that big. So anyway, as we go through this, I'm going to just look through a couple of highlights here. I'm not going to say this word out loud, neither do you, Troy, because we don't want YouTube algorithm to flip out. But this here was even available at one point. You see what that is?
I can't read
So
it.
that was okay. Well, it's an opioid that is extremely addicting.
I see it. Yeah. Oh, I did not know I could get that.
So during the late 19th century, in the years following the Civil War, Americans, mostly ailing veterans, were hooked on morphine. Syringes, which were sold at drugstores, allowed people to administer the opiate themselves. So, with the morphine epidemic sweeping the country, Bayer offered a new hot solution, that drug. That drug, Bayer claimed, was not only stronger than morphine, but also far less addictive. It's the same derivative. At any rate, it does not matter. So much is opioid. Doesn't matter. It's like saying alcohol is less harmful than beer than it is in Jack Daniels. So not the case. And so plus it purportedly had the added health benefit of healing the lungs, allowing patients suffering from breathing disorders, asthma and bronchitis, or chest infection to finally find relief. Of course they can. Hello. Anybody in there? According to The Atlantic, Sears sold 2 vials of the H word for $1.50. That's about $50 today. So you can get 2 vials of it. Who knows how much is in a vial? So it has a syringe, 2 needles, and an H kit carrying case. It came with its old little carrying case. Then they had homes, which we're going to come back to in a minute, folks. But this just blows my mind. I'm going to go past this really fast. I said we're going to come back to that. We're going to look at a PDF just on that I found. And then let's see, right there we have $18 giant power Heidelberg electric belt. In 1902, fewer than half American homes were powered with electricity. But for $18, men could strap on a high-powered Heidelberg electrical belt, complete with Saxense? Sapensory? Saxapensory? Whatever the
Sounds
hell that
dangerous.
is. I don't want to do that and have their virility restored. What is the sack? Anyway, all right. What sack are we hooking this thing up to? During those days, I mean, come on, what's virility? During those days, electricity was claimed a cure, everything from impotence to indigestion, and the Heidelberg electric belt focused on the former. Impotence. The suspensory encircles the organ, carries the vitalizing, smoothing circuit direct to the delicate nerves and fibers, strengthens and enlarges this part in a most wonderful manner. $18 will bring your health and strength and vigor, happiness, and bigger measure for your money.
Yay.
How you like that? Sex toys in the Sears catalog in 1902, basically a men's vibrator. Oh, so in 1910, the American Medical Association cracked down on such quackery and inventions like the Heidelberg electric belt, with some cause sores, faded. It caused sores. Come on, it's like, can you imagine what this thing? I wish we got to find a picture of this thing, or there's got to be a video, YouTube video. The man that tried the Heidelberg electric. All right, brain pills, blood builder, and arsenic complex. I mean, come on, look at this stuff. It just keeps going on and on. It, again, sounds kind of like Facebook. You know, I am a nervousness melancholia shaman, Facebook healer coach. All right, tombstones. They sold tombstones.
Well, now.
They sold guns. We already saw that. We saw the picture in the stuff we were looking at earlier, the BB guns. The following pages, though,
the tombstone.
They go together.
It's
like before and after.
You have problems with your neighbor?
That's right. You buy two things this Christmas. So anyway, on the next page of that one, though, okay, so you get a Remington 22. You get a Winchester. Rounding off for $78. Remington 22 for $17. Kind of, marginally, if you look at today's prices. Anyway, I thought that was very interesting. Troy, again, I got too many screen share going on. But that was an interesting little stroll down memory lane. What do you think of that?
I had no idea you could medicate from Sears. Medicate, shoot, and bury yourself, I guess.
I don't know. Some
crazy stuff. I said that. No.
Hey, you watching this, since you're in this conversation, you can Google that right now and comment below. Tell us what you think about this entire conversation so far. And certainly at anything we've had to say, always comment. We're very open to your comments. You can reach out to me at SRP Valkyrie on, that's the easiest way to do that. If you have any questions, particularly, you want to say privately, but otherwise reach out below, give us any comments. We'd love to hear it on things like that. Even if you're Googling it now, save us the time. That can be a contribution. You're now a part of the bro community here. Imagine looking in the catalog back, say, 120 years ago, and they are selling houses in Sears Catalog. And it's a prefabricated house that comes to you, and they as long as you have the land, they just plop it down, and there you go. And this PDF of the 1936. All right, I was off. 90 years ago. This is the Modern Homes Sears and Roebuck and Company catalog that you could order specifically for homes. This would have been advertised in some form or manner in there as well, like I was saying. But just look at this. In 1930s, you could order a house. Let's see what this says here. Homes built of wood, built to last, and built to be beautiful. There is a certain hominess about a wooden house, a readiness to receive the stamp of its owner's personality, and the ability to adapt itself to its environment, to the needs, to the well-to-do, or the modest town or country life, which is a true reflection of the American spirit. Properly planned and constructed, the house of wood mellows quickly and endures. It is preeminently the house appointed for well-rounded living. I'm trying to read in this mellow voice. A castle for succeeding generations. But look at this. So here we go down. Look at say here now. Here the rustic Americana. Boom, go Oregon. As I drop my headset, go Oregon. 1936, Sears Roebuck and Company. There you go, down there at the bottom. This is all their stuff about how you do it. Okay, the house builder must pay for every cubic inch of space enclosed in the wall. So in other words, you have to buy the land. The most efficient. They have an honor belt service, guarantee plans consisting of blueprints with details to compile material specifications. So they drop off the raw materials. All materials of high quality, necessarily to build. Masonry materials. So you got to put in your own foundation. No extras guaranteed if plans and specifications are followed. Okay. Plans, specifications, and materials all guaranteed to the accuracy, quality, and quality under Sears, most liberal guarantee, backed by the entire blah, 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 blah. Design some early colonial houses stand over 200 years. Wait, some early colonial houses standing over 200 years as a result of great design. A glance through the following pages will show how carefully. Okay, so they're basically claiming they're making it. There you go. These have been being built since George Washington ran around, so we might as well do it now. so there they go. These are the houses. So they're showing us how they make it. You know, they machine cut precision at these warehouses, lumber and millworking facilities in Ohio. Part of it's going on in Port Newark, New Jersey, as large as 70 lumber yards. This is probably going to be coming out of, well, of course, in those days, logging was a much more around the country in general, as it is probably today. Home builders satisfied with and enthusiastic homeowners, builders endorse. So here we have these pictures of the houses, and I'm not going to go in and read everybody's little. In those days, I doubt it was made up. Maybe it is. Those are fake news. But here's pictures of these houses, and this is not bad. Look at these things, Troy. Look at that.
You still see a lot of those here in the Midwest of the USA. A lot of them.
I'm sure these are everywhere. How many homes in the United States? Manhattan, Illinois. I didn't even know there was such thing. Vermilion. I've been to some of these. I've been to Vermilion, Ohio.
Yeah, I've been there.
First wife's from. Honor built construction. Look at this. All of these equipment and china enclosures, bookcases, breakfast alcove, telephone stand. 1936 telephone stand. How you like that?
Oh, that's advanced.
Features and advances. Yes, and advantages. Look at this stuff. This fancy. They tell you how they're doing it. Double plat, double studding. I mean, this is some three studs at the corners. They're showing you how the whole frame of the house goes up. Here it all is. This one getting put in. They're showing you some cutaways here of how actually thing looks. Here's how the chandeliers hung. I mean, this is just fascinating. This is only page 12 of 66. So if we just zoom out of this, I wonder what can I get like multi-page view, or I'll just go down faster, see what anything we can find of interest. But I mean, again, just let's look at a floor plan of one. Okay, there's this house here. Does not look like much, really. I mean, it's a nice house, don't get me wrong, but let's zoom in and look at what we have. We have, I guess we can't, I got to do this down here. So we have an 11 by 12 foot bedroom, a 12 by 10 foot bedroom, a living room, a dining room, and a kitchen. That's like a family with one kid, or a family, no home office in those days. I was about to say, or with a home office, no such thing. Yeah, Dad's in there on a computer in 1936. Oh, look at this one. This one looks on the outside. Again, it doesn't look highly dramatic. I mean, I'm not trying to down it or anything, but it's not like, oh my God. Look on the inside. We have bedroom. So we have 2 bedrooms upstairs, bedroom downstairs. It has a bathroom and a hallway. This probably up here is going to be one of these. This one down below might be the master. Anyway, so I don't even know.
That looks like that might be Warden June Cleaver's house right there.
No, I think that Mr. Beaver is actually the guy who designed all these homes. Wasn't he an architect?
I think he was.
No, excuse me, Mr. Brady.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Brady. He was.
Here's the story of a man named Brady. Exactly. He was always coming home with all the plans.
Yeah.
Look at this. They get fancy little sides up there. So anyway, these are some very fancy things. If anybody wants to find this, just go to the Internet Archive and just put in Sears Christmas Catalog, and this is one of the results that will come up. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Troy, what do you think of the idea of, let me stop sharing this. What do you think of the idea of ordering a house online?
I think that would have been cool. Has the instructions, but I think probably it ended in some liability lawsuit, probably too many of them. But I mean, they sent hundreds, if not thousands of those things out from Chicago. as I remember. And they, like I said before, they still stand all over the country. And when I lived up in Minnesota, they homesteaded, and there was no lumber there because it's the Great Plains. And people up there bought homes, and they were shipped by rail out to North Dakota. So a lot of those homestead homes were Sears homes.
Forgive me, you're cutting out a little bit. I don't know if it's on my end. Again, I'm in South America. We've been talking for almost an hour. We're going to move quickly through the rest of this. I just want to close this out by saying that one of the last things that I found here, Troy, was this from 1984.
The world's foremost experts on the science of gift giving choose music for everyone on their list from the record department at Sears. Iron Maiden returns with Power Slave on Capitol, now on sale. Along with Lean and Mean Twisted Sister on Atlantic. Stay
Santa and Sears and Iron Maiden all in one. And then 1984 commercial. Do you remember that?
No, I do not. But I think it is hilarious. All I want for Christmas. All I want for the Christmas is the number of the beast.
All I want for Christmas is the number of the beast. And then they had Twisted Sister with Dee Snider. Okay, Rat's at that point, Rat was still okay-ish with me. Rat never really lost it with me because I think they've sort of faded before they even got to be two. Again, I don't want to put anybody down. But anyway, I didn't have any problem with Rat fundamentally. And but Twisted Sister, of course, they were just like, are you kidding me? It's like clowns meet heavy metal. Right. But to see Power Slave come up on that thing, I was like, I can't believe this thought came to me at the beginning of the day. Happy Thanksgiving. I remember the Christmas catalog. And then all of a sudden at the end of everything I looked for, I found that commercial.
That's crazy.
Icing on that is crazy. Troy, this has been a lot longer. We planned to go for like 10 minutes. We're right now at 53.
Holy boy.
So we're going to have to chop this into a few different pieces, I can tell, over the next couple of hours. So at any rate, folks, thanks for watching. Troy, do you have anything else?
No, I do not. It's been a good time.
All right. I am out this weekend. I'm going to be gone Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to Ibagué, Colombia. I'll bring some pictures back. We can put them on the show next week. Show you what Ibagué is like. It's just a little bit east of here. Supposed to be one of the most dangerous, wide open highways to drive. And so I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to go pedal to the metal. I'm going to put on breaker from Accept. And anyway, heading out to the highway, man. Ready to roll.
Hey,
so for the rest of everybody out there, that is Judas Priest. Judas Priest, as you said in the one episode. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for putting up with us again. We really appreciate the ones that watch the long form. We realize we have a group of people that pretty much just watch the long form. Then we got a lot of people that watch shorts that probably barely do. But for those of you that make it this far, let us know. Comment below. Give us some feedback. This is a conversation with you as soon as you start talking. We need to have some feedback, and we can really open this thing up. And like I said, we're open also to inviting people to be a guest on here and chat with us about this. Do you remember what it was like playing in a garage band in the early 80s? Do you remember what it was like, I don't know, thinking about the Cold War issues as far as, are the Russians going to get us? Do you remember when John Lennon was shot? What about when Reagan was shot? Do you remember when MTV first came on the air? That's my brother, Troy. I'm Steve. We're the Gen X Transplant Brothers. Till next time, folks, take care. Man.